Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kansas Speedway right here on the Racers Elite Network, powered by iRacing. I am Mike Taylor up in the booth with you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's production of Racers Elite Gen 4 here at Kansas. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of things here before we do get started today. Today, these drivers are going to be taken to this 1.5 mile speedway for 105 laps, which is approximately 157 miles. They will have one fast repair at 65% fuel loads, and they will have 4 extra tires here today. Let's go ahead and take it trackside now, as we have Andrew Teft in that number 97 Rubbermaids machine, whipping around this speedway. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, so that was enough to put him up into second with a 29.94. That was a good lap time there by Andrew Teft. Kensley Smith in that number 15 Napa Chevrolet. They're bringing their machine around turns 3 and 4 now, coming down the front straightaway to end their second lap. And that is going to be enough to bring them up to a 5th on the leaderboard. As we take a look here at Steve Vest and that number 06 machine. Righty now, Steve Vest coming out of turn number 2 for his final lap. Believe so once they only get 2 laps for qualifying. So their Steve Vest qualifying here is done for the moment. Alrighty, so it looks like we are just waiting on possible 4 cars to qualify. That of the 5 of Brandon Puffenbarger, Dennis Kane, Kirby Wayne Scott in the number 10 machine, and Sean Donaway in the number 01 machine. We have just a few more moments left here in qualifying. Let's take a look at a couple things here real quick. Just want to make sure all my logos are up and running correctly so that they look absolutely phenomenal, which they do. Let's do a quick reboot of our overlay system. Our overlay system here is provided by SDK Gaming. SDK Gaming, they do a phenomenal job with all of their overlays that they do. So definitely wanting to give a big shout out to those guys over there. Um, they have helped me so much understand how all of this coding and everything works. So I'm super excited to actually be able to make things appear and look absolutely phenomenal. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take it trackside and get ready for our starting lineup here for Racers Elite Gen 4s right here at Kansas. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Not a big fan of that one, so we'll do this one right here. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, starting on the pole is going to be Richie Joplin in the number 89 Chevrolet, followed by Andrew Teft in that number 97 Ford. Terry Fennell in the number 50 Chevrolet. On the outside of row 2, it's going to be Jesse Fox in that number 69 machine. On the inside of row number 3, you got Kensley Smith in the number 15 Chevrolet, and joining him is going to be Barry Nelson in that number 196 to his outside. Inside of row number 4, you have Brandon Biddy in the number 30 Ford, and Steve Vest in that 06 Chevrolet on his outside. Row number 5, you have Troy Thomas, and to his outside, you got Steve Sizemore in that number 08. Chris Stouffer in the number 17 will be joined by Timothy Heisbrand in that number 192 machine. And then you have in row 7 to the inside, you got Frank Chavez in that number 13 machine with Sean Dunaway in the 01. Inside of row number 8, you have Brandon Puffenberger, followed by Dennis Kane. And rounding out your field in the 17th spot is going to be Kirby Wainscott in that number 10 machine. We are expecting huge things coming out of Kirby Wainscott in that number 10 Oreo Chevrolet. He's one of the fastest cars out here, so he's going to be starting dead last here on the field. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens and see if he can work his way to the front of this field. We have 105 laps on tap for you. And we are sitting at just about 157 and a half miles, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to go racing right here on Racers Elite Network. And out of turn number 4, it's all in the hands of Richie Joplin. And the green flag is out here tonight, for the Racers Elite Gen 4s right here at Kansas Speedway. That was an incredible start there by Richie Joplin in that number 89 machine, and Terry Fennell quickly making his way to that top 2 as they continue to run side by side as they dive into turn number 3. The 97 of Andrew Teff all the way to the outside. He is still trying to make something happen there. It seems heck is going on. Continue to watch these drivers do that right here. screen. I don't know. So for the time being, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and switch back to our original power. It's off as well, ladies and gentlemen. Taken care of as we see the field go single file now. Just ignore the logo at the top. Yeah, it seems like my whole entire stuff here has been shifted left, and I'm not exactly sure why. Let's switch that here for just a moment, and we'll come back and bring it back out here to 1920. Good run here by Brandon Biddy, trying to get onto the inside of Jesse Fox in that number 69. He's just unable to make it happen. Brandon Biddy, he gets up into the outside wall just a little bit there, entering into turn. Barry Nelson looks like he just had a big off track. Let's come back here and take a look, see what happened to that 196 tied Chevrolet as he was coming from turns 3 and 4. It's into the outside wall and down into the grass area. So that's going to drop him all the way back there to the top spot, or to the last spot. As we take a look here at Andrew Teft, currently in that third position. He's not letting that 15 car get too far ahead of him as they dive down here into turn number 1 and 2. This party started as Teft was able to make that move around Smith on the inside, and now Smith is trying hard to come back to get into the inside of Teft, but Teft is just that little bit quicker there on the exit, and he's able to make something happen. There we go. Now that's what it's supposed to look like, ladies and gentlemen, right there on your screen. Kaboom. I actually prefer this other tower, so we're going to go to this tower. Go and get rid of the sticker here. Now let's get back to the racing action right here at Kansas. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize about that. There are a few sponsors here that I would like to thank. While we are under this green flag here at Kansas, Richie Joplin currently out front. Racers Elite Network would like to thank the following companies for their sponsorship and support of this amazing network and league. Speed Zone Race Control. Big shout out to the Potholes doing their thing up in the booth today here for Racers Elite Network. Also would like to big shout out, thank you to Admin Box. They make amazing button boxes, so please check them out. Just go to adminbox.com with 2 X's. KS Designs, giving your visions reality. Everybody, please go make sure you guys go check all those out. Let's go ahead and take a look here through the field a little bit here as we have Terry Fennell taking on Jesse Fox in that number 69 machine as they dive down here into turn number 3. They continue to run side by side. He's still trying to make some sort of move to the inside, make it stick. But that outside lane just absolutely has that momentum coming out of the corner. So it's trying to make it a little bit harder here to pass on the inside. The 2 wide behind him for Sean Donaway and that 08 machine of Steve Sizemore as they continue to run side by side now. Get single file as they dive here down into turn number 3. Now these guys are now sitting here just about single file throughout the rest of the field. Let's come back here and take a look at some of our other competitors out here. Let's take a look here at Dennis Kane out of Detroit, Michigan. Kirby Wayne Scott out of Sparta, Kentucky. He's made up his way by 4 spots here since he started this green flag run. Timothy Heisbring in that 192 machine. Frank Chavez in that number 13 Budweiser Chevrolet. So this right here is our most busiest pack here. Sean Donaway trying to run side by side still with Steve Sizemore as we are coming to just about 85 laps to go in this event. Just about an hour and a half ago, I just finished out a broadcast for another league right here at Kansas, and let me tell you what, it came down very close to a very, margin of victory. So we're kind of starting to see that happen here at Kansas with the Gen 4 cars as they now march their way out of turn number 4 down this sweeping long front straightaway. Number 5 car Brandon Puffer, he's trying to rim ride this thing around as he stays up in that top lane. And he gets a little bit of speed in there on Donaway, the 01 machine. So that just shows just about how much speed difference it is between that high side and that low side as they come down the front straightaway into the tri-oval. And as of right now, Sean Donaway, that number 01 machine, he has that fifth spot. But Terry Funnel and Brandon Puffenbarger, they won it. And so both of these drivers trying to determine who's going to take over that sixth spot so that they can try to attack that 01 of Donaway. These drivers will have to pit at some point for fuel. As we got one skid's turn, Steve Sizemore, and we will have our first yellow of the evening. That was a very incredible save right there for Steve Sizemore. Let's come back and take a look and see what happened out of turn number 4. Coming into the tri-oval, he goes down just a little bit. Possibly got a little bit loose, but he got turned off the front end of that number 3 machine of Troy Thomas. So it looks like no harm, no foul currently. So they're going to go ahead and keep moving on. While we are under discussion, I will return here in just a moment. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you saw, we had a lot of pit stops that time by as they are working lap number 26. As we get ready to finish up our first green flag pit stop here. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We are getting ready to go green flag racing here once again. It is all in the hands of Richie Joplin, and we are green flag racing as the field heads down this little short chute, heading down into turn number one. And they are already starting to run more side by side here near the back of this pack. A lot of movement going on back here, right around Timothy Yasbrand in that number 192 machine. As he works to the inside of the 06 now, Steve Vest. Steve Vest is struggling here just a little bit as they come out of turn 4 and down the straightaway. He has trying his best to try to figure out, how to get around this speedway. Something that I was told that these drivers are going to be looking for that fresh air. And it's something that these drivers here in the back are just going to have a hard time doing because of all the cars in front of them. Right now, the only one who has that clean air right now is going to be the number 89, your race leader of Richie Joplin. As 5 drivers just ran their fastest lap of the race of 30.25, 31.2. And that was Sean Conaway and Jesse Fox, respectively. So I believe things are really starting to pick up here. I want to point out Sean Donaway in this number 01 Kingsford machine. He has gained 11 spots since we went green flag racing, as we still have 75 laps to go here today as they work their way in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Donaway is slowly closing in here on Teft in that number 97 Rubbermaid Ford. He's not letting him get too far out in front, and Teft is not letting Joplin, who's now almost a full second ahead. He's slowly pulling away, but he's not letting him pull away big time like we have seen in the past. Let's jump back up here through the field a little bit where we have some action between the 13, the 08, and the 30. So Chavez, Sizemore, and Biddy, they're having a good old battle back here for the 12th spot. It doesn't matter if you're racing for first or you're racing for 17th. As long as you are racing hard, having fun, that's what matters. And these guys are putting on a show back here for this crowd here at Kansas, as they now come flying through turns 4. Let's jump back up here to your battle for second between Andrew Teft and Sean Donaway. As you see there, Jesse Fox in that number 69 machine, they're slowly starting to pull in on to the rear bumper of Donaway. So we may have, a new contender here. That's something that I like to do personally. Let's take a close look here at some of these paint schemes here today. Andrew Teft in that Rubbermaid Sharpie Ford. Kingsford number 01. Jesse Fox in that number 69 machine. Square D, but with some Looney Tunes on the side. We got Terry Fennel in that number 50. Brian Chevrolet. Christopher in the iRacing number 17. Dennis Kane in that X-Side number 4. Beautifully paint scheme. You have the number 3 of the Napa Auto Parts driver, Troy Thomas. Brandon Puffenbarger. It looks like a slight throwback to Terry Labonte's Kellogg's machine. Timothy Yasbrand, that 192 for Energizer and Target. Steve Vass in that US Air One number 06 machine. Thank you to all your men to all the men and women out there who have served this great country, or honestly, to whatever country it is that you serve for. Thank you so much for your service. As you see Wayne Scott in that number 10 Oreo machine going around the outside of of Frank Chavez. Steve Sizemore in that number 08 Baldwin 08 machine. Brandon Biddy in that number 30 machine. Kensley Smith in the number 15 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. And then Barry Nelson, who's currently out at the moment. Brandon Buffenbarger and Troy Thomas swap positions. Richie Joplin in that number 89 machine. He has pulled himself to just about a 1.25 second lead over second place. And so far, he has led all 40 laps of this event. And these drivers still, I believe, will still have to pit at least one more time. At least one more time before this race is over. So the question is going to be, how many laps before they do come in? And I would like to give a shout out to Charles Joplin, aka Richie Joplin in that number 89 machine, and Jesse Fox in the number 69. They're both saying howdy and hi right here on the Racers Elite Network. Just realized I have my personal logo on. Glad I double checked that. I apologize about that. That should have been the Racers Elite logo. But I guess it did not update the way I anticipated it to. But that's alright. That's okay. We're still having a good old time. Richie Joplin's still out front, kicking butt. Andrew Teft, he's now trying a new technique to see if he can gain any time on Joplin by running around that outside. And in this last lap or so, he has been able to gain just about half a second on your race leader. So he's doing a good job here, you know, making things get a little bit closer as he falls back to just about 3/4 of a second back behind Joplin. So that high line might be starting to come in here for Andrew Teft. Now the question will be, how long can he hold it? Will he be able to hold it and continue to reel in your race leader of Joplin? But right behind him, you got Sean Donaway in that number 01 Kingsford Chevrolet, also trying to close in here on Teft as well. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is the separation right there from first to third as they continue to run down these laps here. We have just 59 laps to go, 8 this time by. So time is quickly falling out for this race, and like I said, I still believe we have at least one more pit stop that we do have to make. I want to jump back here to the number 5 and the 17 of Brandon Pufferberger and Chris Stouffer. These two are running side by side the last few laps for that number 6 spot. Both of these drivers having a really good pace, trying to crack themselves into the top 10, or I'm sorry, into the top 5. But once they get around whichever one they need to, then they got to set their eyes on Terry Fennell, who is setting his eyes currently on to that number 4 of Dennis Kane. So Dennis Kane has gotten around the 50 of Terry Fennell. And here comes Brandon Pufferberger. He's starting to make a run here on Terry Fennell and Dennis Kane. As you see him now attacking Terry Fennell. He will clear him now. He has his eyes set on Dennis Kane there. As we have a battle here for second between the 01 and 97 of Sean Donaway and Andrew Teft. Teft, he looks like he may be possibly falling back here to that third spot. As they now, sorry, to that second spot as they dive down into turn number 3. But all at the same time, these two drivers racing really hard. They've actually been able to slowly reel in Richie Joplin, your race leader. And normally it's the other way around. The more harder you fight for a position, the more the race leader can pull away. But in this instance, the leader is not able to pull away, no matter how much these two drivers are competing right here for that second spot. Less than a second separates your top 3 drivers. Brandon Biddy, he has come down pit road already with just about 54 laps to go. Frank Chavez, he's now coming down pit road in that number 13 Budweiser machine. Alrighty, so these drivers, they last pitted now 25 laps ago. Take our focus back here to the race lead, the 01 of Sean Donaway, right on the back bumper of Richie Joplin. Here he comes. He's trying to look to the inside now to take over that top spot, but Joplin was able to close the door before he could make a move. But here he comes out of turn number 4, and it's a drag race down the front straightaway. Donaway is going to take over the spot. But here comes Joplin trying to do the crossover, head down into turn 1. He will get onto his inside coming out of turn number 2, unable to make the pass work. So he will have to fall behind Donaway and stay in his draft here just a little bit as they head into turn number 3. Joplin now is playing offense mode as he kind of just moved over and let Donaway by. Maybe he knew that Donaway might be a little bit quicker, or he could just be saving his equipment for a little bit later. still just about 1 second separates your top three. Troy Thomas, he is now down here on pit road. Kensley Smith has been down pit road. Terry Funnell's been down pit road. How much longer will these other drivers wait to come down pit road? As you see Sean Donaway coming in, Richie Joplin, he's coming in. Brandon Puffenbarger in the number 5 is coming in. The 4, Dennis Kane, Jesse Fox, Steve Sizemore, Chris Stouffer, Andrew Teft, Kirby Wainscott, and Timothy Heisbrand are still waiting to come in. But how much longer are they willing to wait until they come in? As you know, tires are very precious here at Kansas. And here comes Andrew Teft, and that will possibly turn the race. Turn the race over to Kirby Wainscott. Remember, he started all the way at the back end of the field, and he will come all the way up to the front with no questions asked. Andrew Taft, Timothy Heisbrand, they're all in. Steve Sizemore, that number 0. Wait, he's still sitting down on pit road for a black flag. It's possibly for a stop and hold for speeding on pit road. As he continues to sit there for 50 seconds in his pit stop. Or pit stall, so hopefully he won't be sitting there too much longer so he can return to the action out here on the Speedway. But Kirby Wainscott, he's finally come in. Sean Donaway in that number 01 machine, followed by Richie Joplin, Andrew Teft, and Brandon Puffenbarger. That is your current top 5. Wainscott is leaving the box now. And Sean Donaway in that number 01 machine, he will take over that top spot. That was a really good pit entrance and pit exit here for Sean Donaway. He was just about a little under a second faster than Richie Joplin getting onto pit road and out of pit road. Just a little bit, see what different action is going on down here on track. Continues to try to march his way back towards Richie Joplin. And Richie Joplin, he's starting to march closer and closer to Sean Donaway here as we have just 41 laps remaining in this event. as soon as I pull away. Now we got Richie Joplin right back on the back of bumper of Sean Donnelly, number 01 machine. We're going to stay right here and watch this top battle between Dunaway, Joplin, and Teft. These three drivers here are battling it out currently now for this top spot, as we have just 36 laps to go this time by. Joplin is probably saying, what do I need to do to get to the back bumper of Dunaway and take over my rightful place on top, as Joplin has led 54 laps today, as you've been able to see in our overlays presented by SDK Gaming. We want to thank them so much for everything they do for us as broadcasters. And a special shout out as well to simracershub.com. Want to make sure we send some of the love their way. SDK Gaming just absolutely love their overlay system. Great group of people over there. I've learned a lot about how to set up these overlays and what do I need to do to make the overlays move, from left to right on the screen, up and down, and extend them. So special shout out to them over there. Again, another good, fun, special shout out to the Pottles. They're up in the race control, kicking butt, make sure this race goes on without a hitch. So we want to thank them so much as well, as we continue to tick away times here at Kansas. It seems like all around, for the most part, everything has been pretty quiet. Let's go ahead and come through the field a little bit more. Brandon Puffin Barger, he's just chilling out in the 4th spot. He's moved up 11 spots since this green flag. Dennis Kane in that number 4 X side. Ford, he's also been moving up as well, up 11 spots. Chris Stouffer, he's up 5 spots in that number 17 iRacing machine. Kirby Wainscott up 10 positions since the green flag dropped, and he started 17th, which was dead last on the field. So really good run here by Kirby Wainscott. Troy Thomas in that number 3 machine. For the most part, he's having a good day. Struggling just a little bit, but he's been pretty dominant up here most of the day. Target machine. Sean down the way now to a 1.2 second lead on Eugene Joplin and Andrew Teft. Andrew Teft now looking to try to get around Joplin as he made his way to the back bumper with just under 30 laps to go this time. So let's do something a little different this time here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. As he's now trying to make that run to the outside. Here they come, side by side, down the back straightaway. The current spot belongs to Richie Joplin, but Andrew Teff, he wants it, and it looks like he's going to possibly succeed heading back. There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. That was the pass for second. Andrew Teff now in the lead, or in second place in front of Richie Joplin. As they complete just about 32 laps now. 80. They're working lap 80 now. The lap time was just about 32 seconds. That's what I was looking at. Andrew Teff now just about 1.9 seconds back between Sean Donaway. So the question is going to be, does he have enough time with just 24 laps to work his way to Dunaway and then pass him for the race win? That will be answered in just about 23 laps here on this 1.5 mile speedway. Continue to wind down here for your race leader of Sean Donaway. 20 laps to go this time by. As Andrew Teff, he's coming back down to make his final pit stop. Joplin in that number 89. He will take over that second spot, but he's still just about 3 seconds. And here comes Sean Donaway out of turn number 4. I thought there for just a brief second that he was going to come down pit road, but he went ahead and stayed out. But here comes the second place of Richie Joplin. He's going to come dive down onto pit road as well. At this point, if I was Donaway, I'd be trying to figure out when is it do I want to come down pit road, because I want all the track position I can, just in case if I have a massive check up or something like that coming out. So it's got to be easy in, easy out for Sean Donaway whenever he does decide to come down pit road. And here he comes, wheeling his machine all the way down to pit road speed. Steve Sizemore looks like he had some trouble with that number 196 machine. Not exactly sure where he had that issue. Chris Stouffer in that number 70 machine, he will get a penalty for entering the pits too fast. So the question will be who had the better pit stop, who did not, and here comes Andrew Teff on the outside. Andrew Teff, he will take over that top spot, but not for much longer, as Donaway, he is still right here, up here on the back of bumper of Andrew Teff, still trying to make it happen. And before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, down below this race, you're going to see a subscribe button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's one brief click. You go boom and you are done. And also make sure that you guys ship out this series, this race. 2 seconds now separates race leaders here as Donaway, he works his way around the 06 of Steve Vest. And now Andrew Taft, he has pulled out to almost a 2-second lead over Donaway in that number 01 machine. So this here is a big, huge turn of events in the closing laps with that last green flag pit stop. Andrew Teft had a much better time getting in and out of pit road than Sean Donaway. 'Cause keep ticking away. Sean Donaway, he has brought in his distance to just about 1.5 seconds that last time by, so Teft may be starting to have a little bit of possible issues with those tires, as Dunaway is now to, like I said, just about 1.5 seconds. Laps to go this time by for your race leader, Andrew Teft. I am going to stay right here on Andrew Teft because right now there is no other battles happening on track, so sit here, keep an eye on Donaway. 10 laps to go. Donaway has brought his gap from 1.5 down to 1.3 seconds. Now down to just about 1 1/4. So, on the way, he's trying to get back to the back bumper here of Sean Donaway trying to get to the back bumper of Andrew Tefton, that number 97 Rubbermaid Sharpie machine. And he's even brought that down to just about a second now. Looked like we had a big bobble out of Andrew Teft, that time out of turn number 2. Because I just watched that number drop significantly in Sean Donaway's ladies and gentlemen, 8 laps now for Andrew Taft in that number 97 machine. Less than 1 second back to Sean Donaway in that number 01 machine. That right there is the separation between your 2 race leaders. A lot of things are happening now with just 6 laps to go. Sean Donaway now just a second behind Teft. Can Teft hold off Donaway the remainder 5.5 laps? That's going to be the question as Donaway gets inches closer and closer each second this race goes on. I believe we have only had 2 cautions so far this race. Andrew Teft has been your race leader for the last 13, 14 laps now. And there is Sean Donaway in that number 01 Kingsford Ford Mustang. He's now has his eyes set on that Chevrolet. I'm sorry, Sean Donaway's in the Chevrolet, and Andrew Taft is in that Ford Mustang as we come to get 4 to go this time by. And less than 5 car lengths now separate your race leaders. This is going to turn into a nail biter coming down to the skies. Get ready, Andrew Taft, Sean Donaway. It is a showdown for your race win here at Kansas. Three laps to go for your race leader, Sean Donaway, right on the back bumper of Andrew Taft. Donaway, he's going to work around the outside. Taft is still hanging around the inside. And here comes Donaway with that speed out of turn 2. He's not able to make anything happen. So Taft is going to want to take away Donaway's racing line in order to keep him behind. As Barney shows the popsicle sticks now to signal 2 laps to go for Taft. Donaway, less than 1 second separates the 2 race leaders, and this is it, ladies and gentlemen. 1.5 laps remaining. Who is it going to be? Just a quarter second between these 2 drivers. 2.5 car lengths, maybe 3. As they come out of turn number 4, Andrew Taft, he will see the white flag this time. What is Sean Donaway going to do here on the final lap? Can he bring it home, or will Andrew Taft take the win? Here he comes out of turn number 2. Donaway unable to make it happen. He's going to fly his machine up against the wall in turns 3 and 4, but he's not going to be able to carry enough momentum out of turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, the number 97 of Andrew Taft. Oh, big contact after the after the checkered flag. Andrew Teft, Sean Donaway, massive impact after the checkered flag. These two drivers absolutely just having a blast. I'm gonna take it back here just a couple laps so I can get my nice little slow mo going here. That was an awesome finish here, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Teft out of Hope Valley, Rhode Island. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if we can get a word with these drivers. Let's do a little something unconventional here. We're actually just going to jump down into Misfits Racing's channel, where Andrew Teft, your race winner, Sean Donaway, who finished second, um, Dennis Kane, who finished fourth, is in here, Jesse Fox, and Troy Thomas. Let's go ahead and just jump down here and see if we can get a word with these drivers. So we don't know what we're coming into, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to come down and figure it out. Hello,
My,
drivers. This is Mike up in the booth. How's everybody's night?
it was fun.
Good, Mike. How
We're
about
good.
yourself?
We're good.
Doing pretty good. Well, first and second's in here, fourth is in here. So I said, you know what? Instead of moving everybody up, I'm just going to come jump down here with you guys and party.
Oh, well, come
This is
That's where
what
on.
the
it.
party's at.
Absolutely. So, first and foremost, what a phenomenal race all around. And this goes to everybody here. Um, Andrew Teft, what a run. Surprise after that last pit stop, seeing you be able to get in front of Sean. Did you think that you were able to hold off Sean for the victory today?
I was kind of surprised. I didn't feel as quick as those guys down. Instead of wasting time running side by side and stuff and losing my nose, I just decided to come in and see what happened. And I think if there was a few more laps, probably would have got there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. And is there anything that you would like to thank personally?
Yeah, thank you for helping out in the booth tonight and everybody that shows up to race, tunes in to watch. Very few yellows tonight, so nice job to everybody. And want to thank our servicemen and women, friends, family, team. And if you're interested in checking us out, just head on over to racerselite.com.
Absolutely. Sean Dunaway, what an incredible run for you here tonight at Kansas. Uh, where did you feel that you possibly lost the time to allow Andrew to get in front of you on that last pit stop?
Yeah, it seemed like Andrew. I think what Andrew, you pitted probably about three laps prior than I did. It's probably where I lost the time there. And maybe even going into pit road. That pit road's pretty sketchy, so I yeah, I try to get in there as slow as possible, but slow is not the way to go when you're pitting there. So yeah, it's unfortunate there, but it was a good race all around for sure.
Absolutely. And before I let everybody here go, do you have anybody you would like to thank?
For sure. I'd like to thank my mom and stepdad for always watching, my wife, and then my cats for always trying to ruin my race over here.
Absolutely. The kitty cat's always trying to ruin races. We got Richie Joplin who just jumped in here. Richie, do you got a copy?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Richie, what an incredible run for you today. You've led quite a few laps, uh, but you fell short there near the end. Just Did you just not have enough long run car like everybody else did?
I burned it up, and plus I slid through my pit stop at the end, so that hurt me. So it was all my fault. I'm not good at saving tire. I just like to go fast as possible.
That absolutely sounds very familiar. I wonder who we get that from. Uh, but yeah, you had a really good, strong run today. Just unfortunately, things didn't pan out. Is there anybody that you would like to thank before I let you go today?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Flaming Carbon Designs, Navy Joe Coffee, and Ally Will Repair for sponsoring me and just and you broadcasting, man. I appreciate you coming out here and broadcasting, and that's about it.
Absolutely, absolutely love broadcasting these races. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. Good race all around to everybody. Jesse Fox, Troy Thomas. You guys did a fantastic job keeping it clean, keeping it very very entertaining for today. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Well,
All
thank you.
right, thanks, Mike.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and go high above the speedway, and let's take a look here. There we go. And let's go ahead and take a look now at your final results for the race. There we go. Your final race results here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get those pulled up. What did I click it? And show. There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Teft coming in first, followed by Sean Donaway in that 0-1. Really good battle coming down to it near the end. Donaway was able to get to the rear bumper of Teft, but just ran out of time to make something happen. Richie Joplin will bring it home third in his number 89 machine. Dennis Kane in the number 4, Troy Thomas in the number 3 machine. Kirby Wainscott in the number 10. He will come in sixth. Timothy Heisbrand in that 192 machine will bring it home seventh. Jesse Fox will bring it home eighth. Steve Vest in ninth. Brandon Biddy in that number 30 machine will bring it home 10th. 11th, you have Frank Chavez. Kensley Smith in that number 15 machine. Chris Stouffer will bring it home 13th. 14th, you got Brandon Puffenberger. 15th, you got Terry Fennel. Steve Sizemore in 16th, and rounding out the field is going to be Barry Nelson. What a very good, incredible race these drivers put on for us today. I believe we only saw 2 cautions here today. And so all around, that was a really good race. I'm very pleased. And I forgot I have a new button here. Let's go ahead and take a look at your race recap. We ran 105 laps today. Your leaders, your winner was Andrew Teft, and we only had 1 caution today. That was an absolute amazing race. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for us right here on the Racers Elite Network. We want to thank you guys so much for coming out and joining us. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time right here on Racers Elite Network. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, happy time zones. Adios.